Hello, welcome to Radiant Resilience. This class, I will be leading you through a gentle chair yoga class. So I do teach a challenging chair yoga class, but this particular one will be a more gentle, what you think of as a traditional chair yoga class. So if you are going to take this class, you'll need a sturdy chair, preferably with no arms. And if you're on a slick surface, I suggest having a yoga mat underneath you just so that your chair can't slide around. A little less of a risk if you are on carpet. And then the other thing that you might want, but you can of course do without, is a block. As you're selecting your chair, you'll also want something that's not so high that it feels like the backs of your legs are being cut into by the chair seat. Okay, so we will get started. So go ahead and just kind of start to rock your body side to side, and we're focusing on our sits bones. So those pokey bones that you think of when you're sitting on a hard surface, the bones that you notice. So you're just rocking side to side, maybe even close your eyes so that you're really feeling the sensation of your weight shifting from one side to the other. And then when you're ready, come to center, having the weight evenly distributed from right and left sits bones. And then we're going to do the same thing, rocking forward and back on the tips of the sits bones. So they kind of have a pokey little, they're the bottom of your pelvis. They're actually considered the feet of your pelvis. And we're going to rock forward to the front tips of the of those points, and then rock back. So it's almost like maybe even a little mini cat-cow, but you don't really have to move the spine. It's really just distributing your weight forward and back. What we're trying to do is find neutral. Some people might habitually sit more forward on their sits bones, and some people might lean back. So if you're more forward, I'm going to turn sideways. If you're more forward, you tend to do kind of an overarching. If you're more back, you tend to be slouching. So what we're doing is we're rocking forward and back to try to find our neutral. Okay, and then come to where it feels even from front to back, as well as right and left. And take a breath in and out, closing the eyes. Opening the eyes again. Now we're going to work all around on our sits bones. Big circle, slowly, 3 times one direction, and slowly 3 times the other direction. My sits bones are grinding into the seat bottom. Okay, and then come back, close your eyes. Big inhale, exhale. Hands are resting lightly on your lap. Your weight is even on your sits bones and you're sitting tall. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Press up towards the ceiling with the crown of your head. Eyes are closed, jaws soft. And tune into your breath, your natural breathing pattern. Noticing the rate and depth of the breath, the places the body is moving when you're breathing, and the places that are not moving. And then move into a little bit of a deeper breath where as you inhale, think of expanding up towards the collarbones, but also broadening the rib cage. And then when you exhale, let your exhales be long, soft, and easy. Inhaling, expanding. And exhale, releasing. Long, slow, easy exhales. And we'll take 3 more of those. Breathe in fully. Soft exhales. And one more of these breaths, full deep inhale. Easy long exhale. On your next inhale, full inhale, just like you were doing. But this time, softly part your lips and sigh the breath out. 2 more of those. Breathe in. Sigh it out. Last one. Good. Back to an easy breathing pattern. Before we start to do much moving, just check in with how things are feeling. Give yourself permission to skip or modify anything that you know is just not working for you today. Your responsibility to keep yourself safe. So once you're sitting tall, eyes are open, feet are even on the floor, let your arms hang and start to roll the shoulders up, back and around. Make sure the crown of the head is still reaching up. And then continue with your shoulder rolls, but let the shoulders move independently like you're doing a backstroke with the shoulders. On your next inhale, shrug the shoulders up towards your ears. And then exhale, release them down. Do that again. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, relax down one more time. Good. Dropping the chin down to your chest. On your inhale, eyes gaze up, tongue to the roof of the mouth, head lifts. Exhale, chin comes down. Tongue to the roof of the mouth, eyes gaze up, head comes up. One more time. Chin down, eyes up, tongue to the roof of the mouth, chin goes up. And then bring your head back to neutral. Now we're going to create, like we're drawing the top of a pyramid. So here's the tip, and then we'll draw down to one collarbone, come back to the tip of the pyramid and to the other collarbone. Shoulders are down. Let's turn the palms forward just a little bit, and that helps open the chest and the fronts of the shoulders a little more. Breathe in. As you exhale, drop your chin down to your collarbone on your right. Inhale the chin back to starting point. Exhale to the left. Inhale, starting point. And again to the right. Breathe into the middle. To the left. Breathe in, center. One more time each direction. Right. And center. And left. And center. Good. Drop your chin back down to your chest. Take a breath in. As you exhale, let your shoulders melt. And then slowly roll your head, bringing your right ear towards your right shoulder. Go forward into your left shoulder. Keep going with this. Check. Is there space between your upper and lower teeth? If not, bring a little space there so that you're not tempted to clench your jaw. Now, keeping your head to the right. This part you can skip if it feels like it's too much, but we're going to grab onto the side of the chair, the seat of the chair with our left hand. And then holding on to the seat of the chair, we're just going to lean to the right, keeping your head dropped over to your right shoulder. Right arm is easy, and we'll just do a little swing here. Just kind of hangs. Good. And then let it come back to stillness. Little nods of the head. So it's not a very big range of motion. If that's too much, you're just leaning to the right a little bit without holding on to the chair. All right. And then bring your head to stillness. It's still hanging to the right. Take a sigh. Keep your head to the right as you bring your body back to center, and then roll the head forward and over to your left shoulder. Once you're there, we're going to hold on to the side of the seat of the chair on your right side and start to lean to the left. Left arm is hanging, and just swing it a little bit side to side, or front to back, I should say. And then let the arm come to stillness, little nods of your head. And remember, you don't have to hold the seat of the chair if that feels like it's too much. It does give you a deeper neck stretch. Okay, and then bring the head to stillness, still hanging to the left. Take a sigh. Keep your head to the left, bring your body back up. You can release the chair with your hand and then roll your head forward, chin coming back down to your chest. Breathe in. On your exhale, bring your head upright. And let's just do a few more of those shoulder rolls. Good. All right, now hands come to your thighs, palms down towards the kneecaps, and come forward enough on your chair so that you have space to move your spine. I'm actually going to turn sideways. You don't need to, just so that you can see a little bit more of what my body's doing. So on your inhale, you're going to squeeze your chest, bring your chest forward as you squeeze your shoulder blades back. And you're going to slide your hands towards the crease of your hips. And then that's on the inhale. I don't know what I said before, but inhale. And on your exhale, slide your hands forward towards your knees as you round through your spine. So we're working through some cat-cows. Inhale, chest lift, squeeze. Exhale, open the back of the body. Inhale, open the front, and you'll feel the back of the body contract. Exhale, back of the body opens and the front contracts. One more time each direction, forward and back. And then stack your spine, one bone on top of the other, finding that neutral seated position again. Bring your arms down. Inhale, sweep arms up. Exhale, bring them down. Now, if sweeping straight out to the sides does not agree with your shoulders, then change the angle of the arms. Maybe you need to come forward a little bit. It's okay to experiment, explore, to find that spot that feels the best on your body. In my yoga, in my classes, there are no absolutes. Now, as you reach up this next time, we're going to stop right there, interlace your fingers, press your palms up towards the ceiling, let your shoulders lift up. And then exhale, drop the shoulders down and take a breath in and out. Good. Turn your palms to face your head, bend your elbows, and do some circles over your head. You're drawing a halo on top of your head, and then reverse your circles. Good. And then come back on top, or maybe just a little bit behind. Now, if this is too much, pulling side to side, and we're trying to kind of pull behind our head, but again, depends on your shoulders. So you might have to be up a little higher, or you can just come into a more controlled position where you're holding one hand to the elbow and giving it a pull that way. And again, it's really depends on what's feeling better to you in this moment. And maybe it'll be different next time, okay? If you are just holding that stretch, come to the other side. Good. And then release. Arms stretch back up. Breathe in. As you exhale, we're going to bring the left hand to the right knee, and the right hand is going to come to the base, to the seat of your chair, kind of behind you. Now, what I want you to not do is use your hand to crank yourself into your twist. The hands are just light. You're lifting up really tall. On your exhale, come into your twist. Breathe right here. And then drop your chin down to your right collarbone again. Bring your chin back to upright. Now stay in your twist as you turn your head to the left shoulder and drop your chin again to the collarbone. Bring your head upright. Look back over your right shoulder. Exhale. On your inhale, come out of your twist, arms sweep up. Exhale, twisting to the other side. Right hand to the left knee, other hand to the seat of the chair behind you. Lift really tall. If you let go of your legs, you should be able to stay in how deeply you went into your twist. Look over your left shoulder. Take a breath in and out. And then drop your chin to your left collarbone. Bring your head upright, stay in the twist, turn your head to look to the right, and drop your chin down again. Head comes up, look back over the left shoulder, exhale. Inhale, sweep back up to center, and then exhale, float the arms all the way down. Roll the shoulders. We're going to come into a little bit more movement with our legs now. So either holding on to the back of your right leg to pull the knee up, or you can hold on to your shin. Depends on, again, it always depends. So you're just going to choose. And then we're going to move into some cat-cows with leg movement. So on your inhale, let the knee come down as you lengthen the arms, lift your heart and chin up. On the exhale, pull yourself into a ball, bringing your forehead towards your knee. Inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, curl. And again, inhale, heart lifts. Exhale, curl. One more time. Up and curl. And then start to stack yourself back up into your straight spine. Let your knee come down while you're getting your spine nice and long. And then on your exhale, you might be able to squeeze the knee up a little higher. Okay, now lengthen the arms so the knee comes down a little bit. We're going to do a big forceful exhale to engage our core. Feel your core knit together. Maintain that. Maybe let go. Let your leg hover. If you want more of a challenge, you're going to take your hands and gently press down. The leg is going to meet that resistance by pressing up. Oh, that makes it more challenging for sure. Okay, and then grab the leg again and give it one more hug. Setting that side down, we're going to do the other side, bringing the left knee up, either behind the thigh or in front of your shin. On your inhale, knee drops, heart lifts. Exhale, curl. Inhale, heart lifts, knee drops. And curl. Two more of those. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then start to drop the knee as you stack your spine up. Take a breath in as you exhale. Maybe give the knee a little bit of a tighter squeeze without losing your long spine. And then let the arms lengthen so the knee comes down a little bit. Do that big forceful exhale again to get the core engaged. Maybe let go. That might be enough, or you might want to do a little press. Make sure you're continuing to breathe. You want the core knitted, but not so much that you're not able to breathe. So we don't want to hold our breath here. Okay, and then bring the knee back up. And release. Take a big sigh. Now we're going to take our right hand, make a fist with the thumb out of the fist. So sometimes you curl it in. This time you're going to have the thumb out. Bring the arm down by your side. And then, so the palm is facing inward, thumb is forward orientation when you make your fist. And then you're going to curl the wrist. So it's like you're trying to bring your hand up towards that inner crease of your elbow, but just by moving your wrist. Okay. And so you might start to feel a little stretch in your forearm or your wrist. That's kind of what we're after. This is an area that doesn't get stretched a lot, but we're using those muscles, tendons all the time. So we're holding this for just a little bit. And now keep that curling action of your wrist as you start to bend your elbow to glide the fist up the side of your body. And it's going to go in front of your shoulder and stop right next to your ear. So check again, is it still curled in? If not, go ahead and reestablish that. Keep that curling of your wrist as you start to straighten the elbow up. Wow. So right there, I start to feel a really intense stretch. Even my feet kind of want to move around because it's intense, but very good for us. Keep a deep breath in, let it out. And then go ahead and release the fingers, lengthening them up towards the ceiling. Grab onto the side of your chair with your left hand again. And now we're going to really reach to the side. Your left hand is supporting your weight here as you reach to the side. And then come on up. Roll that shoulder. And let's just fling out the hands, maybe do some rotations of your wrists. Notice the side we stretched compared to the other side. That one feels looser for me. Okay, so now we're going to do the other side. Bring your left hand down by your side, palm facing inward, thumb pointing forward, and then make your fist. Curl the wrist in like you're trying to bring the fingers to the inside crook of your elbow, that inside crease. You're going to keep that curling in action as intensely as works for you. If you have some wrist issues, maybe you want to be a little softer with this. Okay, now we're going to keep that curling of the wrist as we start to glide the fist up the side of the body, crossing in front of the shoulder and stopping next to your ear. Reestablish that wrist curl if you started to lose it. Keep the wrist curled as you start to stretch your arm up towards the ceiling. Oh, and just notice how it's feeling. Give yourself a few deeper breaths here. Each one of our exhales might release a little holding that we might be having in our wrist and forearm. Okay, one more breath. And then keep the arm up. Oh, uncurl the fingers. That feels good. Hold on to the side of your chair with your right hand. On your next exhale, reach to the side. Breathe here. Good. And come on up. As you release, let's roll shoulders. And then glue your elbows to the sides of your waist, clasp your hands, interlace your fingers, keep the heels of the hands together while you draw some infinity signs with your fingers. So you're moving the wrist. That's why I have you anchor your elbows down, because otherwise people do this. And that's not really getting into the wrist. So I want you to anchor the elbows and just do your infinities from the wrist. Okay, now this is the hard part for our brain. Reverse your infinity sign. You might have to think a little bit more. Okay, and then keep your fingers interlaced. Pull your hands apart. And then shoulders down, one elbow up, other elbow down as you're pulling hands apart. And switch, switch, switch. One more time. Switch and switch. Good. And then open wide and release arms down. Roll the shoulders. Good. Stretch your arms up. Breathe in. As you exhale, right knee comes up and your left hand's going to cross down to the knee. Inhale, come up. Exhale, switch. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Okay. 2 more. And release all the way down. Shoulders roll. Okay. Hands on your knees. Open your feet out a little bit. Actually, let's open the left leg out and keep your right foot where it is. And now we're gonna come onto the ball of your foot and just turn your knee in and turn your knee out. I moved the left leg off to the side to make space for your right knee to go in and to go out. So we're working internal rotation of the hip, external rotation of the hip, in and out. And in general, our bodies tend to have one direction that feels a little more free. For me, external is much easier than internal, but you might be the opposite. But ideally, what we're trying to do is kind of come into more of a balanced state, and this is one way to work towards that. Okay, we'll do one more, in and out. Good. Now, we're gonna bring the left foot in, walk your right foot out, and do the same thing. So let's bring our hands over to the right leg, and then open the knee out and in. Ball of the foot of your left foot, just to make it easier to move the leg, open and close. Open, we're also using our glutes when we open. We're using our inner thighs when we close. Couple more here. Last one, open and close, good. And then bring the knee, heel down, walk your other foot in. Now we're gonna do some little heel taps. So you're gonna reach out and tap, and tap, and tap, and tap. Now we're gonna do opposite arm and leg. So right foot comes forward, left elbow comes forward. We're doing heel taps. Now we're gonna switch to toe taps. Toe, 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 toe. Good, just a few more. Good, and then come down, hands on your knees. You might even lean forward, so you have a little more weight on your knees. And then we're going to lift our heels up and let them pound down. Lift up and pound, up, pound, up, pound. That pounding of our heels kind of mimics what happens when we walk. And it is one of those cues, that pounding on our heel bone, which is our most dense bone in the body. It helps cue our body to maintain our bone density, to maintain our healthy bones. Okay, we'll do a few more. Good. Last one. And come up, hands on thighs. Take a great big sigh. All right, from here, we're gonna bring the elbows back into our body and then bring the hands together, and we're gonna row from one side to the other and row. If you need to go wider with your feet, I just felt like I needed to adjust just to feel more stable. Row, row, and row, and row. Good. Now, stir a great big pot all the way around. Reverse your stirring. And you're going as big of a range of motion as you can do, of course, without going into pain. Beautiful. All right, and then we're gonna come on back. We're going to keep the feet a little bit wide and lean forward again. So you really want your hands to help support the weight of your body. And then you're going to drop one shoulder as you look over the other and come center and do the other side. Now, if this is uncomfortable for any reason, what I suggest is to go a little less so that you're still moving and doing the motion, but without moving into pain. Now, of course, if you know this just doesn't work for you, you skip it because we won't be doing it for too long. And then you can join in when you're ready. Let's go one more each direction. So you're leaning on your hands, your spine's really straight, look over your shoulder. And last time. Good. And then come center, keep the hands on the thighs, supporting your weight, and you're gonna lead with your heart. So now we're almost doing some almost like little push-ups. Lead with your heart, roll up, and push up. So your core is working and the arms are working. Heart leads. Inhale. As you exhale, roll up. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, come up. I really want you to feel like you're using your arms. And we'll do two more. Forward and up. Last one. Forward. Good. And up. Roll the shoulders. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And give yourself a big sigh. Open your eyes up. Now we're going to work our core, but more our back muscles. So we're going to bring the arms out this time. And if having them straight out from the shoulders doesn't feel comfortable, of course, go a little bit lower. That's usually more comfortable if this isn't. And then we're going to lean forward, keeping our spine straight. And I'm going to turn sideways again. So you're going to lean forward. Keep your spine straight, scoop in your navel, and then check that you're not doing this with your chin, leading with your chin. You want the back of the neck to be long, chin is slightly tucked. Lean forward. So now we're using our core, using our back, and then we're going to fly. So you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades and release and squeeze and release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. You can also do a bent elbow. Sometimes that feels better. You're still working the back muscles, specifically those muscles in between our shoulder blades that can get kind of elongated in a weak state if we tend to round our shoulders forward. Make sure you keep your neck in line. We'll do one more squeeze. Hold that squeeze, breathe. Release your arms down, roll your way up, and we'll do another couple of shoulder rolls. Woo, I could feel that one. Okay, now we're gonna come up to a standing position. And this is the one place where sometimes it's helpful to have a block, but if you don't have a block, it's fine. You just wanna keep your knees really stable. So in other words, you don't want your knees to do this when we're coming into standing. Now, if for whatever reason your knees don't like this up and down movement, I'm going to have you come up and then come into a chair position, just like this. And you can either just stay here holding, make sure your weight is in your heels, tailbone's long, navel is in, or you could just do a little pulse. Those are your two options. Otherwise, you're going to come with me to come up and down for 30 seconds, and you're going to count how many times you're able to come up and down. Okay, so I will count for you. You can have your hands together at your heart. You can cross your hands to your shoulders, or you could even reach forward. You do what's going to be best for you. Ready, set, go. Halfway. Stop. Okay. So whatever number you got to, if you want, you can test yourself by practicing that, um, every day, I would suggest, and see if you're able to make your number higher. So it's really a competition against yourself, 30 seconds up and down. All right. So, did you get out of breath? If you did, take a big sigh. Set your block down on your seat, and then we're going to come to the back of our seat. Now, I'm just going to shift again, just so that you can see me a little better. Make sure that you have at least 2 of the feet of your chair on something that's not going to slip on you, okay? And then we're going to bring our come into standing. Toes are pointing forward, feet are about fist width or maybe even 2 fist width apart. Now, you can use the chair a lot or a little or not at all, okay? So toes are gonna lift up. I'm just doing pointer fingers. Toes spread out, drop down, and then roll up to your toes. Heels down, toes up. Toes down, heel up. Heels down, toes up. Toes down, heel up. Continue. You're just going back and forth with this. Good. Now, the next time we roll up to toes, we're going to hold right there. And maybe you try to let go for a second or two, or you could let go all the way. If you let go all the way and your head is facing forward, you could challenge yourself by turning your head to one side. Oh, that was challenged. And then come center. Turn your head to the other side. Come center and release. Let's give the legs a little shake. Now keep your right foot forward, and we're going to step our left foot back. So actually, I had started to turn my back foot out. I want you to keep the foot pointing straight ahead. You're going to bend your front knee. Back leg is going to be straight, and we're just going to push down into our heel, and then lift the heel up, and push down, and lift up. Push down, lift up, and again, push down, lift up. Now, what I want us to do is to bend both knees. Not a whole lot, but we're going to focus on our hips. So both knees are bent. And now we're going to do a little pelvic tilt. So you're going to tilt it, tilt the hips, and release. Tilt, release, tilt, release. One more time. Tilt, we're going to hold right there. Hold that little tilt. You can stay still or do a little pulse up and down while you're tilting the tailbone under. Last time. Lean onto your front foot. Now we're going to step the back foot and angle the toes out so your heel can come down a little bit more easily. I want you to engage your left glutes. Is that right? Whatever your back leg is, I forget what we're doing. Your back leg, engage those glutes. If your brain doesn't know where your glutes are, a lot of times our brain is kind of offline or from the glutes. So maybe give it even a little poke. It's a physical cue to help your brain find which muscles to engage. So engage the glutes. Then you can lift your chest up, and then same arm as your back leg comes up. That might be where you stop. Or you can take both arms up. Take a breath in and out. Good. Bring your hands down. Now you can just do same arm as back leg, or you can do both arms. We're going to bring arms in front of us, closed, and then you're going to open and close and open, close, open one more time, close, and open. Good. Bring the hands down, lean forward, and step forward. Give the legs a little shake. I'm going to just turn my chair to the other side just so that I can see you better. Checking in that my chair legs are on non-sticky things. And then we're going to do the other leg. So you're going to slide that leg back. Knee is pointing forward. And then your front knee is bent a little bit as you push your back heel down. Now we'll lift the back heel up and press it down. I need to come forward a little bit. Lift up, go down, up, down. One more time, up, down. Now this time, you're gonna lift the back heel up, bend both knees. Now we're gonna do our pelvic tilt. So you're gonna tuck the tailbone and release. And tuck, release. Two more, tuck, release. Now we're gonna come into that tuck tailbone. Hold that tuck tailbone, and as you just stay still or do a few little pulses up and down. All right, good. Now we're gonna lean forward and then step your back foot so the toes angle out to help you get your heel down. And then engage the glutes of your back leg, maybe even give yourself a physical cue right here. Scoop your navel in and up as you bring your chest up. And then same arm as back leg lifts first, maybe both. Breathe. Think about all the strength that you're building. Okay, bring your hands down. Now we're going to do that opening and closing. So if you need to hold on to the chair, you're only going to move the same arm as back leg. If you're doing both, bring forearms together. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Open, close. Open, close. Open, close. One more. Open and close. Good. Hands down, lean forward, step up, give the legs a little shake. Okay, now whatever leg was in back, this last time we're going to switch. So we're just going to slide the other foot back, opposite arm as leg. Okay, so the back leg, opposite arm this time. And then lean your chest forward a little bit and maybe lift your foot up a little bit. While you're here, if you want, you're challenging your balance. So light holding the chair, or maybe just a fingertip, or you might be able to let go. Breathe. And come on back. Shake out the legs. We're going to do the other side. So leg slides back, opposite arm comes up. And then it's like a teeter-totter or a seesaw. As your chest comes forward, that back leg might lift off the floor. Maybe start to work at challenging your balance. Make sure you're continuing to breathe. Good. And come on back and shake out the legs. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is practice falling and catching ourselves and then righting ourselves. Really good to practice this so that if and when you really do fall, your body has muscle memory and knows what to do. So I would suggest being at the back of your chair so you have something to hold on to if you need to. And then we're going to start with our right leg and we're just going to step it out and fall. So it's kind of mimicking like if you lost your balance and you had to catch yourself, right? So that's what we're doing. We're stepping out, catching ourselves, and righting ourselves. So step out, push your weight to your heels, push your butt back. So it's like you're going into chair pose, and then push off that leg, which is great for strengthening to come back. All right, step out and push in. Step out, push off. Catch yourself, right yourself. Catch yourself, right yourself. Two more on this side, out and in, out. Okay, take a sigh. You might feel your heart rate going up a little bit. Now we're going to lead with the other leg. So you're going to catch yourself, weight in your heels, tush back, and come to center. Out, in, out, in, push, push. Good. Let's do 2 more on this side. And then we're going to make it just a little more challenging. Back to center. Now we're going to alternate. So we're going to be going one side, other side, which makes it a little more challenging. Not only is it strengthening our legs, working our balance, helping us learn how to safely fall and catch ourselves, but it's also developing our proprioception and coordination as we move from foot to foot. Okay, so out, come in, switch, out, come in, out, and in, out, and in. We'll do 2 more each side. Out, in, out, in. Last time. Out, in, and out, and in. Good. Take a big sigh. Beautiful. All right, we're going to come over to the right side of the chair, and we're going to work our way into stork pose. So you're going to move your weight into your left foot, and then you're going to bring your right knee up. Let's let the toes touch at first as you get your right arm out. And then if it feels okay, you might lift the foot off the floor. You don't have to. You'll still be working on balance even if your toes are touching. All right, find your focal point, something that's not moving on you. And then maybe go to that fingertip, or maybe let go. You might just let go for a second. Eventually, you'll build on that. Keep breathing. Again, it's easy to hold your breath in balance poses. So we're going to breathe. Good. And release. Shake it out. And then we're going to walk to the other side of the chair. Same thing. Weight into the right foot. Left knee comes up so your toes touch. Get your left arm set up. And then decide if you're going to lift your foot off the floor. From there, you can start to challenge yourself, going to just a fingertip, or maybe letting go for a second or two, or maybe you feel you can let go for longer. Continue to breathe. You'll feel yourself doing some little adjustments. Let that happen. Good. And release. Shake out your legs. And then we're going to work our way back to the front of our chair. Make sure it's right behind you before you sit back down. So when you're sitting, really try to practice not using your hands to set yourself down or get yourself up. That's one of the things that I see a lot as people start to lose the strength in their core and their legs. So you're going to really work at being able to come up and down without the use of your hands. Okay, let's take a big sigh. All right, now that our legs are warmer, I'm going to have us come into our hamstring stretch. Something that's really, really important. I'm just going to turn again sideways. Our hamstrings run from the back, below the knee crease, back the leg, up, all the way to those sits bones, the sits bones that I had us rocking back and forth on at the start of class. So if your hamstrings, I'm just going to do a little anatomy lesson here. If your hamstrings are really tight, and that can happen, sometimes it's genetic, sometimes it's because of different activities you do, like cyclists tend to have tight hamstrings. Men, I'm sorry, tend to have a little bit tighter hamstrings, just in general. Nothing wrong with that. It's just good to know. But when our hamstrings are overly tight, a couple of things can happen to our posture. One, it can make it really hard to straighten our legs. So we might end up being like this. And if your knees are forward, your hips are going to go back and you're going to lean forward. So sometimes I'll see people kind of walking like this, and it could mean that their hamstrings are really tight. It could also mean their hip flexors are really tight, or probably a combo of the two. So that's one thing that can happen if your hamstrings are really tight. The other thing that can happen is instead of doing the knee bend, people's hips will tuck and you'll see the knees kind of automatically go forward. But that's because the connection is happening on the sits bones. Tightness is pulling the sits bones down. It's knocking your pelvis out of alignment. So then you have all this pressure on the discs of your low spine, your lumbar spine. And then what happens to counteract and stay balanced or to stay plumb, then our shoulders go forward. So hamstring flexibility, maintaining it. You don't want to make them too stretchy, but you want an adequate amount of flexibility there just so that you can have good posture. Okay, so again, I'm going to turn sideways just so you can see what my body's doing, but you don't need to. We're going to take the left foot forward. So come all the way to the front edge of your seat, lengthen out your left leg, bring your hands to your right thigh. You're going to be just on your left heel, so the toes are pointing up. Breathe in, and as you exhale, lengthen the foot like you're trying to point your foot and hinge forward. And then inhale, toes lift as you come upright. So what we're doing is flossing our hamstrings as well as our sciatic nerve. So the sciatic nerve is a nerve that runs out and goes down the leg. Some people have pain associated with that. So we're just kind of getting that to glide in its sheath, because sometimes that tightness that we think is our hamstrings is really the sciatic nerve not gliding. So we're trying to work both. Okay, now this time keep your toes up and you're going to hinge forward. So notice I'm not like this. I'm lengthened and forward. Okay, toes side to side. So we have hamstrings, plural. We're working all of them by turning toes side to side. Okay, good. Toes straight up. Take a breath in and out. And then come on up. I'm going to turn forward again just so that you can see a little bit better. So now you're going to take your left foot, the same leg that we were just working, and slide it a little to the right, not so far that your hips shift. You want keep your hips forward. You're just going to slide the heel a little to the right. Keep your toes up so your foot is flexed, and then slightly turn the toes in. From there, we're going to come forward one more time, not towards your right leg, but straight ahead. And now we're working into that outer part of the leg, maybe a little into your IT band. Good. And then come up, same leg, hold behind the knee, pull the knee up, and then we're going to cross the ankle over the thigh and open the knee out. If this doesn't work for you, you're going to lengthen out your bottom leg, slide your top foot down a little bit. I'm going to give you some other options too. You can cross the thigh all the way over. Sometimes that feels better. You can also take your foot to your block and do it that way. I know sometimes if you have some hip stuff going on, you have to make those adjustments. So really experiment and find your best position. Once there, sit up nice and tall. And just by sitting up tall, you might feel like you get enough of a stretch. And if that's the case, you're going to stay right here and breathe. If you feel like you can take it a little further, little hinge forward. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, come forward. Inhale up. 2 more. Forward and up. Now this time we're going to go forward and just give it a little hold. Breathe right here. Back of the neck is lengthened, chin is tucked, so we're not leading with our chin. Breathe. Good. 1 more breath in and out. And then come back up. Give your knee a hug. Uncross the ankle. Release the leg down. And just feel that side. Okay, we're going to do the other side. Hands to the left leg. Right leg long. Toes are up. We're going to stay nice and straight. Deep breath in. As you exhale, toes lengthen and you hinge forward. Inhale, flex, and come up. I'll turn this way so you can see a little better. Exhale, come forward. Inhale up. Point as you go forward. Flex as you come up. 2 more. Forward. and up and forward and up. This time toes stay straight up as you hinge forward. Chin is tucked. Spine is nice and long, so you don't want to be here. If you find that you can't lengthen your spine as you hinge forward, then maybe your hamstrings are a little tighter and you need to stay upright. You'll still stretch your hamstrings. So do what works for you and then turn your toes side to side. Good. Toes straight up. Take a breath in and out. And then come back up. I'm turning forward again. So you're going to keep that same leg as it is, but now you're just going to slide it a little to the left and turn your toes slightly in. And then we're hinging forward, straight ahead again. Breathe right here. Oh, that's so much more intense when you do it that way. Take a breath in and out. Come back up. Hands come back behind your right thigh to bring the knee up. Cross the ankle, open the knee, flex your foot. That stabilizes your knee. Adjust. Maybe this side's really different. You have to set it up differently. If that's the case, take the time to find the position that works for you. Remember the options. You can cross all the way over. You can go lower with the bottom leg a little longer. You could also have your foot on a block. All right. So sitting tall, if that's enough stretch for you, you're going to stay right there and breathe. Otherwise, come with me. Exhale forward. Inhale up and forward. Up, two more. Forward, up. And this time come forward and hold. Breathe here. Come back up. Bring the knee up. Uncross the leg. Release it down. Staying towards the front of your chair. Inhale, heart forward, squeeze the elbows back. Exhale, round through your spine. Inhale, one more time, heart forward. Exhale, round back. And then stack your spine again. Maybe you have to do a little rocking or tilting forward and back, but find your tall spine even on your sits bones. And let's just bring our hands. One hand supports the other hand with your thumbs together, resting in your lap. Let your elbows kind of wing out as your shoulders drop down. Take a great big sigh. One more of those. Let your breath flow easy. Slowing ourselves down again and giving our system and our body time to integrate the benefits of this yoga practice. Easy breath, soft face and jaw, relaxed shoulders. And take another deep breath in, sigh the breath out. Keeping the eyes closed, bring your arms down by your sides. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Bring your hands together. Exhale, hands come down together at your heart. Closing our chair yoga practice with one Om. Exhale. Inhale. Om. Bow your head. Thank yourself for your practice today. And I thank you as well. Namaste.